Good morning, guys. I wanted to hop on here and let everyone know that this morning around 10:11 a.m. Eastern Time, the body of 7-year-old Liam King is missing in North Carolina for a couple of days now. His body was found in a pond close to the home where he disappeared from. Liam was reported to have been outside playing. Liam's parents went inside the home for a couple of minutes, which often happens. You know, um, how many times? I can't count the number of times where when my children were younger that I had them outside playing and I had left my cell phone inside and heard my cell phone ringing and, hollered out to him, look, mommy will be right back, and jumped up and ran inside and, grabbed the phone and stuff like that. That's just an example. I'm not sure what happened in this situation, but Liam was autistic and was nonverbal. Um, Now, autistic children are drawn to water. The sound of water is very soothing to autistic children. Um, that's why, over the past year, I'd say, we've had several autistic children, get away from their parents somehow, and they, pretty much all of them, have been found in a body of water. And so, unfortunately, that is what's happened in this case as well. Um, I one of my children is also on the autism spectrum. Now, he is extremely high functioning. His symptoms are in the area of Asperger's. But as I said before, he's very high functioning. If you didn't know that he was on the autism spectrum, you wouldn't know that he was on the spectrum. But this child, however, as I said, he was nonverbal, um, and yeah, that's just really sad, really really sad. But as I said, Liam King, age 7, has been found. They were in the process this morning of draining several ponds in the area. Where Liam's parents lived was very rural. Very rural. From what I understand, it's hard to even have cell service out where they live. A lot of people were having problems making phone calls on their phone, much less being able to actually stream something live from the site itself. Very rural area. They described it as homes being like literally a mile apart, and we don't think of that being as much, but when you put it in a rural sense, yeah, that's pretty far, a very, very wooded area and lots of, ponds, not lakes, but, little ponds. Um, and out in the country, that's really common. Um, and I knew that they were draining several of those ponds this morning. So apparently, unfortunately, very unfortunately, Liam King, age 7, his body was found this morning in a pond near the home of the parents. So police are still on the scene. Of course, they have cordoned it all off, still investigating, exactly what happened. Unfortunately, there's a possibility these parents could very well get a neglect charge for this. Um, and what I have to say to parents of, of autistic children, please understand that, especially if your child is nonverbal, the sound of water. Now, just think about, as a person who is not autistic, think about a time when you were out in a rural setting and there was water. Doesn't even have to be running. It's still, you can walk up to that pond or that body of water, and it almost is like a white noise type um, comfort to them. And so they gravitate to bodies of water. So, parents of autistic children, especially, if they're nonverbal, please be very careful with um, your children around areas where you do have unprotected bodies of water, like pools that don't have a fence, these little ponds, because like, just like in this case, it can only take a couple of minutes. Um, so, man, I feel horrible for these parents, though. I really do, because, I'm sure that they did not mean for any harm to come to their child, and it's just a very, very sad situation. So, all my thoughts and sending, thoughts and hope to these parents right now. But again, in case, like I said, I'm going to say it one more time. LiamKing has been found, unfortunately deceased, in a pond near the home. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Y'all have fun out there. Be safe and always know that you're loved. Love you guys. Bye.